Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this walkthrough of Surd questions. I hope you find the film useful. If you do, please tell me so by hitting like, give me some positive feedback. If you've got any questions during the film, then by all means leave them in the comments and I'll respond. And if you are preparing for your own exams, perhaps you should subscribe. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 1. So in this question, I start with 4 plus root 8 over root 2 minus 1. And I'm asked to write it in the form a plus b root 2. Well, let's start off by rationalising the denominator, multiplying top and bottom by root 2 plus 1. Okay, now let's be very sure we get this right. So let's take the numerator over here and work it out separately and carefully. 4 times root 2 is 4 root 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Root 8 times root 2 is root 16. And root 8 times 1 is the square root of 8. Good. So I've got 4 root 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus root 8. Now I'm going to change this root 8. Think about it as root 4 times 2, because then I can write 4 root 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2 root 2. Now, look at that. I've got 4 root 2s plus 8. And that's my numerator. That's the top of my fraction. Now, what do I have on the bottom? I've got root 2 minus 1 times root 2 plus 1. Well, I know the middle terms are going to disappear. So I'm going to be left with root 2 times root 2, which is 2, minus 1 times 1 is 1. 2 minus 1, I'm just left with 1 on the bottom, aren't I? So that is 4 root 2 plus 8 over 1, which of course is just equal to 4 root 2 plus 8. And there you are. I have written it in the form a plus b root 2, where a and b are integers. And that is my answer to question 1. Question 2. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by multiplying out 8 minus root x multiplied by 5 plus root x. Let's expand those brackets. So I'm going to do 8 times everything in the second bracket. 8 5s are 40. 8 times root x is 8 root x. Now I'm going to do minus x multiplied by everything in the bracket. So minus x times a 5 is minus 5 root x. And minus root x times root x is going to be minus, and root x times root x is just x. Good. So what have I got here? Well, I've got, let's do my root x's. I've got 8 root x minus 5 root x. So I've got 3 root x plus, and my number is 40 minus x, isn't it? Now let's look at the question. It says, given that this expression equals y root x plus 21. Aha! So 3 root x plus 40 minus x equals y root x plus 21. Well, wait a moment. In that case, y must be 3, mustn't it? Because that's how many root x's I've got. So I know that y is 3. Now what about my x? Well, I know that 40 minus x here must equal the 21. Well, if 40 minus x equals 21, then x must be 19. So I think now I've found y and I found x. Let's just check the question. Given that this expression equals that, where x is a prime, yes, x is 19, and y is an integer, yes, y is 3, that's an integer. Find the value of x and the value of y, showing each stage of your working clearly. Well, I think we've done that, and our final answer is x is 19 and y is 3. And that's question 2 sorted. Mr. Wright here. I hope you're finding this film useful. If you are, please do hit like and tell me so. It's great for me to get that bit of positive feedback. If you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comments, and of course I'll respond. And if you're preparing for your own exams, perhaps you should subscribe. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 3. Express that fraction in the form root a plus b. Okay, where a and b are integers. Well, let's start by taking our original fraction And let's rationalise the denominator on there. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by root 5 plus 1. That's going to give me 8 root 5 plus 8 over, well, when I look at the denominator here, my middle terms will disappear. So I'll just have root 5 times root 5 minus 1 times 1. So that boils down to 8 root 5 plus 8 over 4, which of course is 2 root 5 plus 2. Now, have I now answered the question? It says express that fraction in that form, root a plus root b. Well, I haven't done that because I've got this 2 hanging around here. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to put that 2 underneath the square root. So 2 root 5 is equal to the square root of 4 times 5 plus 2 at the end. So my final answer is root 20 plus 2. And now I have expressed that fraction in the form root a plus b, where a and b are integers. Question 4. Okay, I've got an expression for a and an expression for b, and I'm being asked to work out a minus b multiplied by a plus b. So let's first of all work out what a minus b would be. Well, a minus b would be root 8 plus 4 minus, I'll put this in a bracket, root a minus 4. So that's going to be root a plus 4 minus root 8 plus 4. So that simply becomes 8. And let's have a think about what a plus b would be. A plus b is a plus b, which is 2 root 8. So what I'm really being asked to work out is a minus b multiplied by a plus b, which is 8 multiplied by 2 root 8, which is 16 root 8. So there you go. There's the value of a minus b multiplied by a plus b. But I'm being asked to write this in the form y root 4y. Now, I wish I could tell you some way of sort of intuitively doing this, but I can't. What I have ended up doing is as follows. I've ended up saying, well, this left-hand side is the square root of 16 squared times 8. So is the square root of 2048. Now I need to write that as y multiplied by the square root of 4y, and I still can't tell you any intuitive way of working out what y is there. So what I had to resort to do was take the y inside the square root. So this is 4 times y cubed. Now, 4 times y cubed, that has to be 2048. And 2048 is 4 multiplied by 512. Okay, so that is 4 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 8. And that now has it in the form 4y cubed. Now I want to write it in the form y multiplied by the square root of 4y. So I'm going to take out a y squared from my right-hand expression. So I'm going to take out an 8 squared from my left-hand expression. So that's going to become 8 outside of the square root. And I'm going to be left with 4 multiplied by 8 underneath my square root. So after all that rather cumbersome work, have I shown it can be written in the form y multiplied by the square root of 4 times y? Yes, I have. So let me just tidy that up. So I've got 16 root 8, which equals 8 multiplied by 4 eighths. And that is in the form y multiplied by the square root of 4y. So quite a difficult last mark on that question. Question 5. Show that root 12 over root 3 plus 2 can be written in the form a plus the square root of b, where a and b are integers. Right, well, let's start by rationalising the denominator by multiplying top and bottom by root 3 minus 2. That's going to give me root 12 multiplied by root 3, which is root 36. 12 3 is 36, minus 2 root 12. Now, what's that going to give me on the bottom? Well, I know the middle terms are going to disappear, so I've got root 3 times root 3, which is 3, minus 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to get minus 1 on the bottom, aren't I? So I've got root 36, which is 6, minus 2 root 12 over minus 1. Change the sign on the top, gives me minus 6 plus 2 root 12. Good. Now, I'm asked to put this in the form a plus the square root of b, and I haven't quite done that yet, because you'll notice that there is a kind of hidden 1 here. There isn't a coefficient there, is there? So I need to get this 2, stick it under the square root. So I'm going to have minus 6 plus. Now, if I put it in, I'll have to square it. 4 times 12. So that's minus 6 plus the square root of 48. And now my answer is in the form a plus root b. And that is question 5 sorted. Mr. Right here, just a final plea that if you found the film useful, please tell me so by hitting like. And of course, if you're preparing for your own exams, perhaps you might subscribe to the channel. See you on the next film.